What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Senator of Chaos and Controversy. So, I want to talk a little bit about our position in society right now when it comes to civilians versus law enforcement. And it's a topic that I keep addressing time and time and time again. But apparently, I can't stop addressing it because we keep having these instances and examples that keep coming up to where it's becoming more and more disturbing. Now, in light of what happened to Jalen Walker, I was looking at another content creator and going over his comment section, and there was a point that was brought up. Now, I don't know if this is true to fact, but I'm going to entertain this nonetheless. It was said that to question Jalen's behavior, it pretty much was going to be the argument to justify why he got shot. Okay. If that was the case, then it is really disturbing that this had to be the outcome to prove a point. And I'll get to that point. But it was said that Jalen had lost his fiance sometime recently. And that explains why there was a ring, in the console or in his car next to the weapon that was found along with the magazines or whatever. So basically, he was grieving, okay? And if that was the case and he felt like he didn't want to be here no more, what better way to go out than suicide by cop? Now, the point to be proven is this. Knowing how police are, especially when they engage with those within the black community, it is to say that things that people might be skeptical of, to say, oh, you're just reaching, or you're just drawing a unreasonable conclusion, or that's just a little too far-fetched, but is it really? Because prior to Jalen, there were many other examples where police reacted when they shouldn't have. When they were too excessive, when they should have been reserved. And people might say that, oh, well, they were put in a predicament where they had they were in fear for their life, this, that, and everything else. I said, okay, again, I would agree with you, except for the fact that when there are actual instances where they are put in a position where they are actually engaging with somebody that is a threat to them, how is it that that person that was an actual threat to have taken the lives of officers, wounded officers, struck officers, beat officers, still get their due process, still get to plead their guilt or innocence, still get to be alive to see their day in court? So I would understand if there wasn't other examples to contradict that. It's a shame, and upon me saying this, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this, but as disturbing as this might sound, it seems like we are getting our reparations, but it's through blood and sacrifice. It seems as if those in the black community, family by family, have to lose a loved one in order to get paid. There is no justice to where an officer is found guilty and convicted of doing something that, if you or I had done the same thing, we will be persecuted to the full extent of the law. So when the concept or the statement is made that law enforcement or police are held at a higher standard where and when. Because how can you be held at a higher standard if there is no consequence to your actions? And when you are faced with those consequences, you get off. There's no accountability because you are protected with qualified immunity. And then when met with such outrage, it's the people that are acting out of line. It's the people that done lost their sense, so to speak. Like they aren't entitled to that emotion. They aren't entitled to that outrage when seeing that there is injustices that is being honored and glorified. And the victims of those circumstances are just exploited through the media, social media, this, that, and the other. And the police just get a slap on the wrist and that's it. Paid vacation. If I was to do something heinous as taking someone's life, beating the shit out of somebody, I would be taken to jail. Sit in jail unless a bond is placed and I'm able to make bond and get out. Or maybe, if lucky, because I don't have a prior record, get out on my own recognizance. But yet I'm still held captive until I am able to prove my guilt or innocence. And that is with the fact that financially, I'm going to get hit one way or another. And the victim of the circumstance or of my actions won't see shit. But the courts will financially get compensated, but not the victim. But when a cop does something that's fucked up, the cop doesn't pay the victims of their actions, of their wrongdoings, of their negligence, of them violating protocol. Who's the ones that foot the bill? We do. The taxpayers, the ones that pay into the system, the reason why they have a job to begin with, that they don't like hearing, but fact is fact, truth is truth. So when our tax-paying money goes into funding them, we also foot the bill for their fuck-ups. So when there is no funding to apply elsewhere to help society, it has to go towards paying the damages to the family that is grieving. And in the midst of all of that, the cop is still free to continue to make that same, I can't even call it a mistake because it's not. To continue making those same willful actions against another intended victim. And as much as I would love to make this a black and white issue, I can't. Because again, there are examples as well of white people who have gotten fucked off by law enforcement. And it's amazing how quiet and silent the media, social media, and certain content creators do not cover those particular stories. Why it falls on, I can't even say it falls on deaf ears if it hasn't been addressed. Unless I take it upon myself to do so. or other content creators decide to do it. And the reason why I say that, because when expressing or showing some kind of emotion towards our grievances, we are told we aren't allowed to do that. That's how desensitized you get certain people when they know something as tragic and as fucked up has taken place. They tell you, maintain your composure. Ain't all that bad. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe if this person had done X, Y, and Z, so and such and such. But then again, looking at it from the perspectives of other examples, 9 times out of 10, we don't ask for the confrontation, the encounters by law enforcement. And when I say this, and I'll say it with such passion, when we ask to be left the fuck alone, it is not too much to ask for. If a person who is maybe struggling financially, working 2 or 3 jobs, and they're dead tired, the last thing they want to have at the end of their shift or at the end of the day is to deal with an arrogant, fucked up asshole for a cop. What are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you coming from? This, that, and everything else. Seeing you in your fucking uniform. Seeing you dead tired. Seeing you probably agitated because you probably got to walk home because you probably done missed the bus, this, that, and everything else. And all they can do is just fuck with you. And then when you're rightfully irritated and agitated, oh, now they want to escalate the situation. Mind you, they decided to engage you, not the other way around. But being that you're a citizen, you're held at a higher standard. You're supposed to know how to maintain your composure. Especially in the presence of an officer, but not them. They can curse you the fuck out, push your buttons, maybe even physically get aggressive with you. And all the while, you're supposed to maintain and just take all that shit. You could be grieving. You could have done lost your child. You could have done lost your wife. You could have done lost your parents. And you're probably not in the right mental state of mind. Here come an officer fucking with you. And if you say, hey, I'm dealing with stuff right now. I want to be left alone. Well, what's going on? What's going on, buddy? Huh? You seen a little, have you been drinking? Do you smoke that marijuana? You smoke that wacky tobacco? Huh? You smell suspect. You smell, my guy, you smell suspect. You really do. Do you have anything on your person? You mind if I pat you down? You mind if I see if you have anything on you? Do you have any ID? Can you identify yourself? Hey, buddy, you seem a little agitated. You seem a little irritated. You sure you're coming from where you say you're coming from? Yeah. What's with the attitude? Yeah, we got such. Yeah, I might need some backup with this one. And here we go. All because you want to get from point A to point B, go home and not be fucked with. But that can't happen. I'm going to say this in closing. I may seem a little harsh, but the harsh reality is that if you have those that are no longer with us, that could plead their case, and there was no passion, there was no empathizing, there was no rational judgment to preserve their lives, because it was, we gotta react. Oh, our adrenaline's pumping. Oh yeah, we got us one. Oh yeah, This is what we. This is the. This is what. This is why we joined the force. Yeah, and then it wouldn't surprise me in the light of all that has happened within the past couple of years with the Black Lives Matter movement and how police was portrayed and stuff like that. So now, yeah, they got a even more reason to want to go out and prove a point to say, oh, you want to make us look bad? No, we don't want to make you look. You make yourselves look bad. And then when you have those that make you look bad as a whole, why are you angry at the civilians? Why don't you direct that anger towards those that make you look bad, that are the bad apples? Don't take it out on the civilians. Take it out on those in your department that you know are dead wrong, that are fucked up, that hold certain biases, that have their prejudices, that may entertain certain racism and shit like that. But you don't. You actually condone it. And it's like, oh, you shouldn't generalize all policemen. But why does it seem like when you look at what they're doing, they're generalizing all black people? We are all thugs. We are all suspects. We are all must be dangerous. We must all not to be up to no good. The pendulum swings both ways. So if you don't like a certain perception being projected onto you, don't project it onto us. Fair is fair. Anyway, that's all I want to say for tonight. I hope it's all is well with everyone. I hope everyone's safe. The world is becoming more and more crazier as we live to see another day. And I guess because we have that concept where tomorrow isn't promised to anyone, that this may justify why people are acting with such, how should I, disregard for life. Anyway, until next time, until next video, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. And yeah, peace.